You are not here to chase chance. You are here to command reality. Before your fingers touch the paper slip, before you feel the crinkle of the ticket between your hands, go within, for what you hold in your hands is not the source of your fortune. You are. The ticket is not your miracle. Your assumption is. Imagination is the womb of all things, and the lottery, like everything else, is just an echo of consciousness. The world calls it luck. I tell you, it is law, immutable, unerring, and always yielding to the dominant assumption. So I ask you now, can you assume, truly assume, that you are already in possession of the winning ticket? Close your eyes before you play, not in hope, but in knowing. Say not with your lips, but with your being, I have won, it is mine now. Feel the weight of the wealth in your pocket. Hear the excitement in the voice of your friend who says, I can't believe it. You actually won. Watch the numbers match, not as an event in the future, but a memory from the past. For in the dimension of imagination, the future is already past. Time bends to the will of him who assumes. Do not ask how it will come. Do not wonder when. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally, and you will be led by invisible hands. What matters is that you are no longer a man hoping to win. You are a man who has already won. Remain loyal to that unseen reality, and the scene will conform. You do not win the lottery by chance. You win it by consciousness. And consciousness never plays dice. Say this not aloud, but in the silence where all things are formed. I am wealthy. I am chosen. I am already in possession of all that is mine. Stay there. Dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. For what you dare to assume as true and sustain within must manifest without. Imagination is not a whimsical escape from reality. It is the foundation of all reality. Everything you see, touch, taste, and call real was first imagined, whether consciously or unconsciously. Before the skyscraper pierced the sky, someone imagined steel rising. Before the airplane defied gravity, someone imagined flight. And before the numbers aligned on a lottery ticket, they aligned first in the unseen realm, in consciousness. The great secret is this: it is not the event that causes the belief. It is the belief that causes the event. To believe after it has happened is the way of the world. But to believe it before it has happened, and to persist in that belief, is to participate in the creative act itself. There is no luck, only law. And the law responds not to your words, not to your actions, but to your state of consciousness. Whatever you assume to be true and live from becomes your experience. You do not win by hoping or wishing or begging. You win by imagining, and imagining in such a way that you persuade yourself of the reality of what you do not yet see with your eyes. To the world, imagination is invisible, intangible, and therefore dismissed. But to those who understand, imagination is more solid than matter. Matter rearranges itself to match the inner blueprint, and that blueprint is nothing more than your sustained, felt assumption of a thing already accomplished. When one buys a lottery ticket, they often do so with a desperate hope, a prayer born from lack. But hope has no creative power. Hope waits. Imagination acts. Imagination says, I already possess it. It is mine. You must feel the thrill of the wind before the wind comes. You must enter the scene in your mind where it is already true, not as a distant possibility, but as a living memory. Ask yourself, what would I see if I had already won? What would I hear? Who would I tell? What would I feel in my body? The rush of joy, the disbelief, the exhilaration. Go there. Go there so completely that you forget your imagining. When the imaginal act becomes more real than the world around you, you have impressed the subconscious, and that impression must express itself in your world. The outer world is not the cause, it is the effect. You do not wait for the numbers to confirm your state. Your state determines the numbers. This is not metaphorical, this is literal. What you dare to claim within and accept as already yours will harden into fact by the operation of unseen law. When you imagine vividly, with full sensory detail and emotional conviction, you are not merely daydreaming. You are creating a mold, an energetic pattern into which life must pour itself. You are setting the coordinates for your experience. And the universe, being impersonal, responds not to your personality, but to your assumption. It does not matter who you are. What matters is what you accept as true. This is why imagination is supreme. It does not matter if the odds are 1 in a million. In imagination, there are no odds. There is only acceptance or rejection. You are either in a state of having or in a state of wanting. And wanting only perpetuates more wanting. The moment you step into the feeling of already having, the moment you claim it not as a wish, but as a fact, the mechanism begins to move. You will be led, perhaps without even knowing it, across a bridge of incidents that will carry you from where you are to the fulfillment of what you have assumed. You do not need to concern yourself with the details. Your task is only this: to remain faithful to your inner world even when the outer gives you every reason to doubt. The truth is that the world is your mirror, and the mirror cannot reflect back anything other than the image you present to it. If you walk past it believing you are broke, it will show you lack. If you walk past it believing you are chosen, wealthy, and already in possession of the prize, it will rearrange itself to match. So you must begin within, before the ticket, before the numbers, before the announcement. Begin where all things begin, in imagination. Assume the feeling, dwell in the result. Let your inner world become more vivid than the outer, and from that secret place, all things shall emerge. Before any action is taken in the world of form, a movement must occur within consciousness. Everything begins within. The mistake most people make is to act from a place of lack, to seek results before establishing the inner state. But the outer is only the echo. The cause lies unseen. Before any physical step, before money exchanges hands, before a number is selected or a ticket printed, there must be an inner movement, a silent agreement with the end already achieved. This inner movement is not effort, it is not strain, it is not about forcing yourself to believe or repeating empty affirmations in desperation. It is about dwelling in the state. It is about assuming with quiet confidence that what you desire is already yours, and not merely repeating the words, but feeling them, tasting them, living in them inwardly as though they were already established facts. When one moves through life without aligning their inner state with the desired outcome, they are acting in vain. Action taken from a place of doubt or uncertainty only reinforces the condition of separation. One may say, I will buy this ticket and hope I win. But hope is a confession that one does not yet believe. There is no creative power in hoping. The creative power lies in assuming that what is desired is already a present reality. To assume the end means to mentally and emotionally inhabit the result as though it were already complete. It means you do not look toward the thing you desire, you look from it. You buy the ticket not as someone hoping to win, but as someone who has already won. And that inner state will radiate out into the field of experience and organize events, conversations, coincidences, and so-called chances to bring about what was first claimed in silence. Many think they must do something to achieve their desire, but they forget that the first and most important act is within. Physical action without inner conviction is a body without a soul. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the moment you accept as true the reality of your desire, even though the senses deny it, the creative process is initiated. This is the only true preparation. All outer movement becomes meaningful only after the inner movement has taken place. Before you take the step, ask, from what state am I acting? Am I still searching, or have I already found? Am I reaching for the prize, or am I claiming it? Your world cannot deliver what your inner world has not accepted. You do not purchase the ticket to try to win. You purchase the ticket because in your imagination, the win is already yours. The outer act simply becomes a reflection of an inner knowing. This inner alignment must be natural, not forced. It is not about straining to make something happen. It is about relaxing into the conviction that it has already happened. If you can do that even briefly, even for a few moments with feeling, you will move mountains. The world responds not to effort, but to certainty. You must walk through the world as one who already possesses what others are still striving for. There is no virtue in desperation. There is no magic in effort alone. The only true magic is in assumption. Before you play, enter the end. Before you seek the result, become the one who already has it. Speak not as a beggar hoping for a miracle, but as one who remembers what has already been given. The inner word must be thank you, not please. Gratitude affirms possession. Longing affirms absence. Everything responds to your self-concept. If you go to the lottery counter as someone who is poor, unworthy, and lucky if they win, you reinforce a state that guarantees lack. But if you go as someone who already embodies wealth, success, and ease, not by effort, but by silent inner knowing, then that energy speaks louder than any outward word or gesture. Align yourself inwardly. Sit still before the action, not in tension, but in stillness. Imagine vividly what you desire and then walk in the assumption that it is so, not in arrogance, but in quiet faith. This is how reality is shaped. This is how worlds are built. You do not act to become, you act because you already are. Every outward gesture is the shadow of an inward claim. Remain faithful to this inner world. Persist in it. Return to it again and again whenever doubt arises. Do not waver. Let the world say what it will. Let the facts appear unchanged. Your task is not to be swayed by appearances, but to sustain the state of fulfillment within. And in time, by law, the outer must conform. There is a place far more powerful than the spoken word. It is the inner sanctuary of silence, the realm where all true creation begins. In that silence, you do not need to convince anyone, not even yourself. You only need to assume, and to assume deeply, quietly, with conviction, that what you desire has already been received. This is the true act of creation, the silent manifestation that precedes every miracle. What you say with your lips may impress others, but it is what you whisper within when no one is watching, when no one is listening, that shapes your world. Words spoken aloud without belief are powerless, but a quiet assumption, held in stillness, radiates with unimaginable force. It is not necessary to declare your desires to the world. It is necessary only to enter into the feeling of their fulfillment and remain there. When one approaches a desire, whether small or great, the world teaches them to speak affirmations, to repeat phrases, to write goals, to take action. But far more powerful than all of that is a single inner act, the still conviction that it is already done. This conviction does not require noise. It does not need evidence. It exists in silence, and it is from that silence that all things rise. Before reaching for the ticket, before stepping into the store, pause. Not for dramatic effect, but for sacred alignment. In that pause, say nothing to the world. Speak only within. And say not with words, but with being. It is mine. I have already received it. I am now the one who has it. You do not need to make a sound. What you silently claim with feeling carries more power than 1,000 shouted affirmations. To the untrained mind, silence seems empty. But in truth, silence is the container of all that exists. It is the secret chamber where thought impresses itself upon the infinite. Every external event is born from an internal moment of silent knowing. The phone call, the check in the mail, the opportunity, the miracle, all of these are echoes. What precedes them is the inner word that no one hears but you. I am. This silent act is not a technique to get something. It is a declaration of identity. You are not trying to become something. You are recognizing that you already are it. You are stepping out of time. You are collapsing the distance between desire and possession. In that moment of inner silence, you are not waiting. You are remembering. Some may ask, but what do I say? What are the right words? The answer is that the words themselves do not matter. It is the feeling beneath the words that shapes reality. You could say, I am a winner, or say nothing at all. If your inner state accepts the truth of that reality, then creation has already occurred. You could repeat 100 statements with doubt, or one silent assumption with faith, and the latter will produce far more fruit. This is why silence is so potent. It bypasses the outer mind. It bypasses resistance. It speaks to the deeper realm where belief lives. You do not need to convince the surface of your mind. You need only to drop into the deeper self and feel the truth of your desire as already real. In that feeling, silently sustained, lies the seed of manifestation. Hold the image. Feel the result. Let it live in you, and let that inner experience be more vivid, more alive than anything your senses tell you. For your senses only reflect what you have previously assumed. But the silent assumption is your place of power. It is where you rewrite the script. There is no need to ask, no need to beg. In the silent moment before action, you declare possession, not as a command to the universe, but as a natural knowing. It is done. This inner word, spoken without sound, is heard by the only part of reality that matters, consciousness itself. And once heard, it must express. Walk away not as someone waiting, but as someone who has already received. Go about your day with the quiet certainty that the seed has been planted. Do not look back to check if it is growing. Your inner word was enough. You do not doubt the seed once sown. So it is with this silent act. Speak it once within, clearly, vividly, with feeling, and then rest. The true power is not in the repetition of external words, but in the unwavering inner claim. The silent assumption creates. The world only follows. You are not the architect of events. You are the creator of states. Events are the natural unfolding of the state you occupy. The question is not what you should do or when you should act, but what you are assuming to be true now. That assumption determines the path you will walk. It draws forth the necessary events without strain or struggle. You are never required to force or manipulate the outer world, only to align yourself within, and the bridge of incidents will take care of the rest. A bridge of incidents is the seamless, often subtle chain of events that unfolds between your present state and the fulfillment of your desire. This bridge is not always recognizable at first, for it does not always come dressed in grandeur or sudden miracles. It may appear as ordinary conversations, unexpected delays, strange coincidences, or a decision made on a whim. But all of it is orchestrated with mathematical precision to bring about what you have already claimed in consciousness. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, reality begins to shift. The world reorganizes itself to reflect your new inner state. And yet, many sabotage the process by asking how it will happen. They step out of their assumption and into questioning. They leave the end and return to the middle. But the how is not your concern. The how belongs to the intelligence that operates through you and through everything. Your only responsibility is to remain loyal to the end. When you imagine vividly, when you feel the result as if it were already true, you impress that state upon the deeper mind, and from that impression, life begins to respond. But it does not respond instantly through the senses. It first moves through channels unseen, through minds and circumstances, until one day you find yourself in a moment and realize, this is it. It has happened. You will be led not by logic but by intuition. You may have an impulse to go somewhere, to speak to someone, to try something different, and you may not connect it at the time to your inner work, but you must trust it. These are not random acts. These are the steps across the invisible bridge that leads from where you were to where you now inwardly dwell. Each step is necessary. Each moment is perfectly positioned. What appears chaotic is only order misperceived. This is why control is unnecessary. When you try to force results, you interrupt the current of life that already knows how to deliver what you have asked. The moment you say, I must figure this out, you have forgotten that it is already done. You have stepped out of the end and returned to uncertainty. But when you say, it is mine and I will be led, you hand the reins to the deeper wisdom that never fails. No bridge will ever contradict your assumption. If you have truly entered the state of having, then every event that unfolds, even the seemingly unpleasant or confusing ones, are part of that unfolding. Many people waver because they interpret events prematurely. They judge what happens as if they understand the whole picture. But you are not here to analyze the bridge. You are here to walk it. Walk as one who has already received. Think from the end. See the world not as it is, but as it must be if your desire were already fulfilled. And as you persist in that inner seeing, the outer world will conform. Your conversations will change. Your opportunities will shift. People will be drawn into your orbit not by manipulation, but by natural law. They will play their roles without even knowing why, because you have already written the scene inwardly. The world is not resisting you. It is simply responding to the state you occupy. If you change your state, the reflection must also change. There is no need for stress, no need to chase or control. The more still you are in the conviction that it is done, the faster the bridge appears. Let life bring you the route. Do not try to write it yourself. You are not the builder of bridges. You are the dreamer of ends. Dream well, and the bridge will appear under your feet as you walk. When something seemingly unrelated occurs, do not dismiss it. Trust that it is part of the unfolding. Keep your attention on the end. Keep your reactions faithful to your vision, and let the outer world bend, not by force, but by fidelity to your inner state. This is how creation flows from within to without, silently and surely, through a bridge of incidents too perfect to be planned, yet too accurate to be coincidence. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a vague hope, nor a fleeting moment of excitement. It is a controlled, deliberate shift of attention. It is the act of mentally dwelling in the experience of already having what the senses still deny. To feel a thing as real, though it has not yet appeared in the world of facts, is the very root of manifestation. That feeling is not passive. It is the creative cause behind all appearances. Most people look to the world to give them permission to feel success. They wait for evidence before they allow themselves to rejoice. But the law does not work that way. What you feel inwardly as true, consistently and without doubt, must become your external reality. It does not come because you asked. It comes because you claimed it. By entering the state emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and remaining there, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not dependent on external conditions. It is a movement inward. It is your capacity to lift your awareness out of the current facts and into a scene that reflects your desire already realized. You must ask yourself, quietly and honestly, what would it feel like if I already had what I seek? Not in theory, not in imagination alone, but in actual, felt experience. You must answer that question not with words, but with inner sensation. You must allow the body to respond. Let the heart race with joy. Let the breath deepen in peace. Let the smile of fulfillment rise naturally, not because anything has changed outwardly, but because you have changed inwardly. The world will catch up. It always does. It cannot resist the weight of your inner conviction. You are not waiting for the feeling to come from outside. You generate it from within. The moment you decide to dwell in that state, you become magnetized to it. The world around you begins to shift. People respond to you differently. Opportunities present themselves. But none of this happens until you make the first movement, the movement of feeling it as done. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not fantasy, it is discipline. It is the spiritual act of selecting a higher state and living from it. Regardless of appearances, your senses will protest, the facts will disagree. But if you remain faithful to your inner vision, the outer must bow. The feelings sustained will shape the form. You are not a victim of your environment. You are the cause. And the cause lies in how you feel about yourself and your world. If you feel that life is hard, life becomes hard. If you feel that wealth belongs to others, it flees from you. But if you feel, even in stillness, that abundance is already yours, if you walk, breathe, and sleep in that feeling, then it is only a matter of time before it takes form. It is not repetition that creates. It is the quality of the feeling behind the repetition. A single imaginal act, felt fully and believed, outweighs 1,000 empty declarations. When you go within and build a scene that implies the wish is fulfilled and you feel it deeply, you have done the work. That seed, planted in feeling, must grow. The body may still walk through the routines of daily life. The outer world may appear unchanged. But you are no longer the same. You are no longer seeking, you are remembering. You are no longer desiring, you are dwelling. And in that dwelling, the creative power flows. The feeling acts as the blueprint, and the universe rushes to fill it. Let the scene you construct be alive with detail. Hear the voices of those who congratulate you. See the place you would be standing. Touch the objects that would be around you. And most importantly, feel the satisfaction, the quiet, powerful joy of it is done. Let that feeling rise in you like warmth, like peace, like knowing. Do not try to force it. Sink into it. If you feel the end will come. That is law, and nothing can alter it. Let the world say what it will. Let the facts tell their story. You need not fight them. You need only return again and again to the inner state of fulfillment. And as you remain there, all things will be added unto you, not because you chased them, but because you became them. Anything you become to you, you became them. All that you seek is already yours, not in some far-off place, but here, now, within. You need not strive, nor beg, nor chase. You are not a servant to conditions. You are the operant power, the dreamer in whom the world takes shape. What you claim in silence, what you feel as true, what you embody without visible proof, that becomes your world. Let the ticket, the desire, the wish, be merely a mirror reflecting what you have already accepted in consciousness. Let the act of playing not be a hope for change, but a celebration of what is already done. Remain faithful, not to appearances, but to your inner vision. Trust the unseen over the seen. Trust the feeling above all else. You do not need to know how. You only need to know who, and the answer is always I am. From that sacred center, you move worlds. So choose your state. Assume the end. Dwell in it. Feel it. Walk in the awareness that what you desire has already been planted, and it must bear fruit. It is law. The silence knows. The silence answers. So before you take any step, before a number is marked, before the ticket is bought, before the world is consulted, pause. And in that pause, remember who you are. Speak not to the world, but to yourself. Say only with calm conviction, it is done. Then rest and let the bridge carry you home.